got a feast tonight. Swedish meatballs, rice, cranberry sauce, the gravy that goes with it, all of it homemade. I'm gonna explain how I did it. And I got some pomegranate. And this is just cranberry juice, like with a lot of water, so it's just like a shot of cranberry juice and water. I like diluting juice like this. Alright, let's start. My little elephant cup. Oh, success. They're so soft. I actually haven't made these before. I just looked up a recipe and followed it, exactly to make sure it turns out good. There is onions, mustard, but onions were caramelized before, so caramelized onions, mustard, milk, panko, or like breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, nutmeg, half and half, beef and lamb minced, an egg. I think that's. And you give it some color. Fry them at high heat, and then turn it low. Baste it with butter like you're making a steak. Cranberry sauce is not traditionally eaten, but I thought it made sense. It had this gravy, it had like a, Thanksgiving dinner vibe to it. And it really goes well. And the gravy is, I had some beef stock that I'd made last week. So you first make a roux, which is butter and flour, and slowly add your beef stock, kind of get it to the consistency you want, and then add some cream. I will write the recipe in the info box. So if you're interested in exact measurements, I'll put it there. Since the subscribers asked for me to ramble more, I've been thinking about what to talk about. So in my last video I talked about my gym routine, and today I thought I would talk about my all-time favorite video games. I'm a huge video game fan. I don't have too much time to play now, but I wish I did. But the few opportunities I get. That's like my favorite time of the week, you know. So it's gonna be very clear how old I am because I'm gonna be mentioning some really old school games and some new games. I really put some thought into this list. Okay, it's in no particular order, okay? It's just like a random order. So when I was in middle school, high school, I was extremely into like real-time strategy, like those Command and Conquer games, Red Alert, and especially Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 is one of my absolute favorite games. I played it to death. I played probably the scenario, I don't know, 50 times. Played it with my friends. I mean, just played it to death. And, I mean, sorry, the AC's on. I probably know those cutscenes. If you know, you know, those like movie style cutscenes. Like every, you know, line I could just read. Okay, so that's number one. It's called Red Alert 2. A totally different style, but from the same time of my life, I guess, middle school, high school. It's Monkey Island 3, The Curse of Monkey Island. It's like an adventure game. Puzzle solving. There's no like violence or anything. It's just kind of cartoony. It has like a very good sense of humor. The art style is just amazing. I still haven't seen something that matches it. You know, it's just like so unique. I mean, probably the artists working on that game must be just top notch. I mean, I highly recommend it. I have some really nice memories of, you know, playing it with my dad. We both enjoyed it a lot. And the Monkey Island series has like so many other games, but I didn't really play all of them. But Monkey Island 3 is just great. Okay, so again, let's take a really different turn. Hearthstone, the card game. Probably the game I played the most in my life, because at one point I was legitimately addicted. And playing it hours and hours and hours every day. You can't really beat that time. It was kind of like a money grab game. I mean, I did spend a lot of money on it, just buying decks every time an expansion came out. It made me extremely fun. I mean, what can I say? It's very competitive, and I'm a competitive person. Every season when the ranking resets, you know, that excitement to rise the ranks, try to get into legendary, that kind of stuff really excited me. It's a very difficult game. To win in the higher ranks, I mean, you gotta really concentrate. You really know the decks, really know what's going on. And, I wasn't actually that good at it. I never mastered it, but I always had a good time. Every time I want to list off a game, I want to say it's my favorite game, but I guess it's hard to choose. So my next game is Valheim. It came out, like, I guess during the pandemic, and when everyone was stuck at home, I have like just amazing memories of reconnecting with friends, playing Valheim. It's like a strategy, it's like a survival game, but just so well made, you know. Really nice lore, really nice atmosphere, going from, you know, one region, one biome to the next, kind of as you progress in the game, is so well made, you know. You're legitimately scared to go to the next stage, so like, it makes you feel like really immersed into the game. That they did that just so well, and I'm really looking forward to playing it again. Apparently, apparently they've been doing like a lot of updates, and they're gonna do like the 1.0 release. So I'm looking forward to starting from the beginning, and hopefully get the band back together, all my pandemic friends. Next game on the list is just like such a classic. I mean, I don't even know what to say. The Civilization series, and I think my favorite in the series is Civilization 5. I don't know why, I just like it more than Civilization 6. It's a little bit simpler and just a little bit more well made. I just have more fun with it. For those of you who don't know, I mean, Civilization is a genre on its own, you know. It's not like any other game. Turn-based, kind of progress your, you know, civilization from ancient ages to like modern ages, and you kind of choose the technology and, you know, social and economic kind of policy paths you take as you progress, and you're also managing your cities and military. It's a very deep game. You know, played it thousands and thousands of hours. I'm really looking forward to playing Civilization 7, which just came out. I'm scared to start playing and, you know, getting fired because of it or something. So I'm a huge Valve fan. I mean, all the games they've made, they're just excellent. Team Fortress 2, love it. Half-Life 2. I mean, I was there when they first came out. When first time Half-Life 1 came out, I couldn't even believe my eyes that, you know, games could do that. That, like, now it seems funny, but those like 3D graphics and the kind of like the world around you is like very, very active, you know, people walking around, kind of people talking to each other, and as you're doing this like a wonderful story. And there was no game like it. I couldn't believe it. And then Half-Life 2 came out again. My expectations were high, and they were, you know, crashed tenfold. Amazing. But having said all that, Left 4 Dead, I love that. But having said all this, if I had to choose one Valve game into this list, it would be Portal 2. Portal 1, Portal 2, just amazing games. And Portal 2 also has a much deeper story element to it, like almost like Half-Life, but the same fun puzzle-solving game that Portal was. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played, but I highly recommend it. Basically, you go through rooms, kind of solving puzzles, trying to get to the next room. It has a very simple premise, but amazing physics, amazing atmosphere, amazing music, amazing voice acting, just like artwork, in my opinion. I'm at the end of my list, so I have one more. try to make every game in this list a little bit different, so I get best of. And I'm a huge fan of like town management kind of base building kind of games, and there are so many really good ones. It was hard to choose, but my choice is Frostpunk. So, for those of you again who haven't played Frostpunk, it's like a top-down, you kind of look at a town, and the story is, it's like an alternate universe when in the kind of steam engine era of the world, a catastrophe happens, and the climate change is extreme, and it's in the direction of low temperatures, so like a permanent snowstorm kind of situation, and you try to manage your small town in this situation, like 150 person town, resource management, kind of policies, technology, so well made. Music, the atmosphere, it just really gets you in. And every winter, when it's really snowy in East Coast Canada, where I live, I really look forward to playing Frostpunk, kind of getting in for a weekend sesh, turning off the lights, snowy outside. I just love that. And I did that last week. So that's why I had to include it in my list, because it reminded me of how much I love that game. Let's get this dirty plate out of the way. Okay, so since my food is not finished, I'm looking over my list and I'll tell you the ones that I didn't include in the list, but that made the draft. So let's call it honorable mentions. First honorable mention goes to Raft. It almost made the list, but I included Valheim for that, survival, sort of game. But Raft is a very close second. It's actually nothing like Valheim, but I guess the survival element is the same. The same old, you're getting hungry, you're getting thirsty, elements of the world is trying to kill you, and you build your base. And in Raft, you build a raft, and it's not a very realistic game. You build like basically a house on the ocean as you're drifting, and there's this wonderful story that's unfolding as you kind of stumble through these random islands, and just so well made. There are a couple of main islands where the story really progresses, and where your technology kind of really progresses every time you visit one of these main islands. A couple of new things get unlocked, which very well made. It makes you, it enables you to go to the next island, and so on. And the story actually ends, wonderfully at the end, and you can play it with your friend. And I did play it with my friend, and it was a great memory. Okay, one more on the short list. Again, it's a survival game that has a story, and that's actually one of my favorite types of games. And it's long dark. It takes place in very northern Canada, and so that's close to my heart. And there's this wonderful, story. Kind of begins as a love story, but then turns into this kind of a very mysterious story. And as the story is unfolding, you're trying to survive the very harsh elements of like extreme cold, animals, hunger. Man, makes me want to play that game. If you don't mind, I'm not gonna finish my pomegranate. I'm gonna go and share it with my wife. And I'm very full, and this video is gone for very long. But I hope you enjoyed. I talked a lot, so hopefully it wasn't too annoying. But maybe some of you will like it. I won't do this every time, but I guess I'm in a very talkative mood. I'm getting very excited talking about my favorite games. Well, hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video.